Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in December 2018. Hello, Leo. How you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Well, guys, it's December, end of the year, end of the line. Right off the bat, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, if you're celebrating any of those, and if you're not doing any of that, maybe you're having happy holidays, or I wish you happy holidays, rather. And if you're not having any of that, I guess you're the Grinch. And I respect that. Sometimes the Grinch spirit is the only spirit you could get in touch with, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a fabulous December. I hope you guys have amazing holidays if you're celebrating with friends and family. I hope it's amazing all around and it's full of love and happiness for you. Now, Leo, you know the deal. If you're a returning viewer, I've shuffled ahead of time. That's your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle for your outcome and your overall energy. Once those cards are out and everything is lying face up, that's when the reading begins. If you want to skip ahead, timestamp will be in the description box below. Also down there is information on how to get a personal reading with me. Let me tell you, this has been happening. This for you has been everywhere. Everything's flying all over the place. We didn't ask for anything, so we don't accept any of these cards, but let me just get everything oriented. Oriented. I need to eat dinner. Anyway, right. Description box, there's stuff down there on how to get a reading with me if you're interested. I promise I won't let cards fly over the place, and I promise I'll eat a full meal before I do your reading, okay? Anyway, let's go ahead and get your outcome for December, okay? Leo, outcome December 2018. Leo, outcome December 2018. Oh, really? Okay. So I'm like, really? Because these cards came out left and right, like bang, bam, bam. And then suddenly the last two cards, or last card wasn't going to come out. Anyway, let's go ahead and flip and see what we've got. Oh my god, that's interesting. Yeah, there we go. Alright. How's that look? Ooh, that looks okay. Let's go ahead and let's work with that. Alright. Please show me Leo in December 2018. Where is Leo? December 2018. Please show me. Okay, thank you. Well, aren't you special? Right here. Alright, Leah, for those of you who might not be familiar with my channel, I usually do 6-card spreads. Sometimes I get what I call the triplet. That's exactly what we have here. We've got 3 cards sort of grouped together because 2 came out in one position. This has happened earlier this year pretty consistently, and then it stopped, and now it's back again. So you're the 4th out of 5 signs that has a triplet, and you are, I believe, the 3rd sign in total out of all the almost I think it's over 100 videos I've done so far, but out of over 100 videos I've done, you're the 3rd sign that has had a triplet, and I begin in the triplet. Usually the triplet is a separate storyline, and I don't usually start there, I usually end there. So there might be something significant for you to have there, in me telling you that, and sort of, reminding you of that if you have watched my videos before. Now, your starting position within this triplet, which I'm going to assume, but I'm not clear on it yet, is going to be separate from your 4 other cards. You come in with the Lover's card in reverse, which has come up a few times, the Lover's card. So a lot of issues involving choices. In some cases, this would be a strong indicator for some of you dealing with Geminis, as this is the card of Gemini in the Major Arcana. But in general, the Lover's card has been coming up, I think, for almost everybody except for Cancer. Yeah. And for you, I'm getting like, oh boy, mayday, mayday. something or someone is just out of pocket, out of their mind, out of, just like not doing what needs to be done. Thank you. Not doing what needs to be done. Not doing what would benefit you or the situation or them or the situation. So this could be a person, or it could be the energies surrounding a certain circumstance or a situation in your life, but it's just not being released is how they're saying. For some, it's not being released. For others, was that the doorbell? One second. Well, now I won't be able to hear it because that came on. I don't think that was the door. That was weird. People rarely ring the door around here, so that's why I'm like, what? Anyway, so not doing what needs to be done, not releasing, not focusing, not starting, not stopping. Something is not happening the way it needs to in order to see a benefit or a progression, okay? So like I said, for some of you, this could be an external person. It doesn't have to be specifically a Gemini, but the energy, I feel, is tied to Gemini right now, in the sense of, I think right now, no, that was earlier. Something about Gemini was happening astrologically. Don't quote me. I don't follow astrology as strongly as I used to, but I feel like something happened in Gemini recently. Anyway, what I'm getting is this whole two minds thing. Two, dual presence. So that could mean something to you. But what I'm getting is, like the air signs tend to do, is to have one thing be true as well as another thing be true, and they coexist at the same time. And often those two truths conflict or kind of bounce off of each other. They don't mesh. So, and it can be a conundrum for other signs to understand what that means, or even fathom. Same thing. Fathom, understand, same thing. But understand as in like sympathize and understand. Oh, I could see your point. And fathom as in like even comprehend how someone could believe or operate in such a way. I think is that's the difference. Even though those two words are synonyms, fathom and understand, the way that it came across in the feeling was understand as in understand from a sympathetic, oh, I could totally relate point of view, versus fathom as in to comprehend. Okay? Does that make sense? Anyway. So, I don't think it's you, Leo, if I'm honest. It could be for some of you, like, if I'm honest, let's be real here. For some, this could be true, but I feel if this is a person, not just circumstance, not just energy around a situation, if it is a person, this person is of two minds about something, and they are not necessarily making a decision. They're not necessarily moving forwards or backwards or left ways or right ways. They're just sort of standing still, idly, immobile, and just hemming and hawing, basically, mulling over, not calling an end to something, not starting something, not refreshing something. It's just like standing there and being stuck in the mind, being stuck between these two truths. Okay? So what are those two truths? I don't know. It will be specific towards everybody's situation. It will be very specific, especially towards the individual who's living this reality. But it could be of two minds about, what to do for the holidays. It could be, do we go to my parents' house or do we go to your parents' house? And you see the validity in both of those things, but there's something about choosing, something about deciding for one option over the other that makes the person go, but no, I don't want to do that, or that's not right, or I want both, So it's this idea of, if I choose one, I can't have the other, or if I go that way, I can't come back, or if I choose this, then people will believe that, and that's not true. So in the case of the holidays, like let's say for you, Leo, and again, I don't think it's you. So let's say it's your partner. They want to go to their parents' house. But they think if they do that, they're going to make you feel like they don't want to go to your parents' house. So they'd rather you decide, or they'd rather not make a decision, or they'd rather do both. Well, could we somehow make it to both Christmases? And you're like, well, your parents live in Montana and my parents live in Florida. So no, we can't make that happen. We have to choose one way or the other. And this person is like, I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. I can't. Because they see the validity, or they see the benefit, or they see something being positive or something being enjoyable about either option or both options at the same time, which, you know, again, might be hard for some of you to understand or to fathom. It's like, okay, from your perspective, Leo, if this is about choosing between where to go for the holidays, you could be like, okay, well, we could go to your parents this year, and then next year we'll just go to my parents, and that'll be that. Like, it makes sense to you. Like, logically, we can't do both. We don't have the money and the airfare, you know, the free sky points or whatever to go to both places during the holidays. So we'll just do your parents' place this year, and then next year we'll do my parents' place, and that'll be that. That, to you, is a full understanding. Like, I don't know why you're antagonizing or feeling anxious over this decision, honey. It's very simple. We will do it in sequence. You know, you go first, I go next. You know, it's whatever. For others, you can't even fathom. Like, you can't even picture how your partner thinks going to one of those places is even remotely enjoyable. It could be you. It's like, I don't even want to see my family on the regular for any reason. Why do you want to go see my family? Like, I don't want to see them. I don't want to spend the holidays with them. I'd rather go to your parents' house and that be that. So you're not even seeing on the fathom side. Again, it's very close synonyms, but they're making me draw a distinction. You can't fathom how one of the options is even an option. You're just like, no, that is obviously the worst option. That is obviously the least appealing option. Therefore, it's not an option at all. Let's just forget about going to Florida. We'll go to Montana, which, is not something I think I would ever say personally. But, I've never been to Florida or Montana, so what would I know? So you see what I mean? So you might be observing somebody else agonizing, over a decision or having to come to some type of conclusion or some type of turning point. And you're just like, do this. It's obvious. Or, well, we can do both. It's just we can't do them simultaneously. We'll do them sequentially or whatever. And you're just kind of like, huh? I don't get the dilemma. I don't get it. We do this or we don't. It's that simple. We can't do both. That is okay. That's where you're standing. You know you can't do both. Either because one of the options is totally unappealing and you would not be caught dead doing that option, or they're both appealing, but we just can't physically, logically, within this time-space continuum, do them at the same time. Therefore, we have to do something else. And so what someone else is agonizing over, you're just like, well, this is dumb. This is really just dumb. Not the person is dumb, but like the whole, what am I gonna do? How can we do that? Like trying to figure it out. It's just like, it's already, for you, Leo, it's like, it's already decided. We're going to Montana. We're going to your parents' house. It's decided. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, in the case of your partner wants to go to your parents' house and their own parents' house, and they're like, I don't know what to choose. In your mind, you're like, I'm not offended that we go to your parents' house this year and my parents' house next year. Like, you, from your partner's perspective, this is all an example, by the way. If this doesn't fit in your romantic life, maybe it's a friend thing, maybe it's a family thing within the family, I don't know. Maybe you're like going to like your divorced parents for separate Christmases, I don't know. From your perspective, Leo, you're just like, well, my family's not going to be upset. Like, they will understand. Your parents live in Montana. They don't get out much. They understand. They will be very understanding of if we go to Montana this year. It's not a big deal. But your partner is still feeling this anxiety about it. And you're very much like detached from feeling anxious about any of it. If this isn't about holidays and choosing which family to go to, this could be, for some of you, Yeah, for some of you, it's just, or excuse me, for the majority of you, it's about somebody else has a choice or is reluctant to choose, is reluctant to uh, settle down on one side versus the other. And they want it both ways, or they want to delay the choice, delay having to make a decision. And you're just like, just stop all that. I don't have the time for it. Neither do you. Let's just call it a day with this. Okay. So in some cases, this could be about your own relationship going forwards, or stopping where you're at and calling it the end or something like that. I'm not feeling that for many of you, if I'm honest, but it could just be a dynamic then, not necessarily calling the relationship over, but calling certain aspects of it over, or deciding to not do certain behaviors going forward, or, you know, indulge in certain spending habits, things like that. And you're just like, okay, we will cut back because we have to save money for whatever our goal is or whatever we're trying to do. And your partner's like, but babe, Amazon Prime. And you're like, I know, it's very beneficial, but considering our goal, we really have to, you know, cut back on excessive spending. And they're just like, but babe, free shipping. And you're like, it's not that bad. Well, we could always use someone else's Amazon Prime account. You know, let's save our money where we can. And they're like, but I don't want to do that. And you're just like, it makes no sense. My friend Ted or whoever, my best friend, my cousin, whoever, they don't care that we use their account. They will put our name on there like today. Why don't we just save the money and use their account? And your partner just feels weird about using your cousin's sign-in information for Amazon. And you're like, it's not a big deal. Tina, shut up about it. You know? Or why are you, you know, agonizing over this? It's really not a huge deal. But for someone else, something is a huge deal. And it's giving them anxiety. It's making them feel pressured. It's making them feel like they're going to be a bad guy if they choose one or the other. And it's just like, girl, guy, calm down. It's not that serious. This person, in general, is usually like that. Not like in everything, but usually as in like that is a characteristic of them. That is a personality trait of theirs. They will, some more than others, some more frequently than others, but in general, this person, when it comes to making certain types of decisions, they don't like it. They feel pressured. Not pressured to decide one thing or the other, but they feel, thank you, if I choose this thing over here, that means I can't have that thing over there. And they often want to experience both. There we go. Okay. So this person has anxiety about missing out, about not being involved, or not having access to, or the ability to, okay, well, I decided that and now I don't like it, so let me go do this other thing. It's like buyer's remorse, sort of. And so this person has this, I'm telling you, this might be very specific for just a handful of you, but someone in your midst, partner, brother, sister, coworker, best friend, I don't care who it is, someone in your midst often wants it both ways. Not in an egotistical, narcissistic type of way, not in a conceited way of, well, I'm the best, therefore I deserve everything. It's not like that. It's more of like I don't want to choose this thing and then be disappointed and not be able to go choose the other thing. So I want like a take backs. Like they, like no backsies is like their worst fear. What do you mean no backsies? No! Like they really have this thing about, if I choose wrong, quote unquote wrong, I don't want to be left with my choice. I want to be able to go back, or I want to be able to have both at the same time. They are very much not interested and kind of fearful in some cases of having to have one allotted choice. That is your choice, partner or friend or brother or sister of Leo. That is your choice. Whoever this is. For some of you, that could be you, but Leo, if I'm honest, I don't think it's you. It could be for like a smidgen, maybe one or two of you, just a handful of you, but I feel mostly it's not Leo's energy. Okay. Now, I think this triplet, if I'm looking at it, yeah, okay, this is all about them. So we're beginning with someone else. I'm sorry. So whoever this person is, they obviously mean something to you because they're here in this reading. But they are plagued, is how they're making me feel, plagued with anxiety. They're plagued with, in some cases, depression. In other cases, it might be even like OCD or ADD, but something. They have something that is diagnosable. If they're not diagnosed, okay, let me give you a caveat here, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not any type of psychotherapist or anything like that. So I can't say for sure that this person is. Like, don't quote me like, oh, my tarot reader said that you have anxiety. I'm like, no. But I feel that there's a high chance that many of them would have such a condition or such a mindset or such an emotional state that it could be diagnosed. Not saying that so thank you. I don't want to say that they are, because I'm not in any capacity able to say that, but I feel that in some cases, if not many of the cases, they could be diagnosable as something. And that's not a slight. That's not anything so negative. You know, I'm going to put my hand up. I'm the first one. I have been and have continued to be having issues with depression. I think that's one of the modern staples of human existence, is depression and anxiety and all these other types of issues that we deal with, right? So I will be the first to stand up and say, I've been on that train, and I will continue to buy a ticket on that train, because it just happens. It's just part of my life. So that's not a slight to say that this person might be diagnosable in some type of way. And they keep wanting me to say diagnosable. So I'm getting the sense of, thank you, with this not wanting to choose, not wanting to experience something. I get the sense that some of them have an avoidance of being diagnosed, an avoidance of addressing this aspect of their personality, and they don't want to acknowledge this part of themselves. They know it's there, they are very much aware of it, and they might be sharing that information with you freely. Some of them might be hiding it from you or trying to guard it from you, but you can detect it, you can see it for yourself, Leo. But in either case, whether they're sharing that information with you or not, like, I have a problem with choosing, I'm not good at making decisions. Some of them are telling you that. Others of them are like faking the funk and being like, oh yeah, sure, we're gonna have a great holiday. And then behind closed doors is like, oh my god, where are we going? Montana or Florida? Like, either way, you can tell. You know, I'm telling you what you already know about this person. Now, the issue with the diagnosable is, I feel most of them don't want to address it in such clinical, textbook, doctory terms. Like, they have a issue with being labeled as something. As like how I just easily put my hand in the air as much as I can in the frame of this camera, but as easily as I admitted to you, even though I'm just a pair of hands on the screen and a voice, I will, in my regular life, I swear to God, I will tell someone, yeah, I've been depressed, or I've gone and I've seen a therapist. Absolutely. I will tell people that. I just told you. See? I just told you. And I would tell you again. If we met face to face, I would tell you. A lot of people don't like that. Just, they can't do it. They don't want to do it. They would never admit it. Or they have some type of stigma. They feel there's a stigma attached if you do that. If you tell people, oh, you're depressed. Like some of them, like how I just did that mocking, oh, you're depressed. Some of them think that is the perception they would receive. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you just need to buck up and get your... Like, they would feel patronized if someone found out, or if they were labeled as having a mood disorder or bipolar or whatever is potentially their issue. They would feel stigmatized by being labeled as such. Therefore, they would avoid going and seeing a therapist. They avoid having deep conversations about what's going on with them internally, okay? So I'm saying a lot of this and you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Jay? The reason I'm talking about this, come on, I cut my nails and now I can't pick anything up. All right. So the reason I'm talking about that is because right underneath where this person is, you've got the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So they're held back. They're held up. Held back, held up. What do I mean? Four Pentacles. Held back. Much like this woman in her china cabinet chest. She's holding those plates and I'm assuming, yeah, there's doors there. So she's holding the doors to that cabinet shut, firmly pressed against her chest, right? And she's held up, meaning the plates are being held up. I would assume these plates are kind of like on a display, like they're probably like sitting on some pegs or something in there. So there's like a certain perception or appearance that this person makes a great effort to upkeep. Like, looks are everything to this person. Like, not necessarily so straight up materialistic, so straight up talking about their physical appearance, but it's not down to that. It's like a deeper, not deeper, but more a more nuanced understanding of that phrase. Appearances mean everything to this person. So the projection of happiness, contentment, joy means a lot to this person. Of things being a-okay means a lot to this person. The trains run on time. The public restrooms are clean in my train station. Like, no. Anybody who's ever traveled on any form of public transportation knows that's not a guarantee. But this person wants that to be the story. They want that to be the takeaway, is that everything in my life, everything in our life, everything in this area of my life is a-okay. It's perfect. It's squeaky clean. It is up to par. And I'm talking about cleanliness a lot, and I think I mentioned OCD, so that might tie in for someone that you know, who is close to you, who means something to you. Doesn't have to be a romantic partner, doesn't have to be someone that you know super intimately, but you care about this person. And again, appearances mean everything. So they could have the crappiest day. They could be going home Monday to Friday, crying their eyes out. And on Saturday, they go out and they do their errands and they do their makeup, they do their hair, they go to the gym and they post on Instagram and they look, thank you, there we go, getting to the social media aspect. They make an effort to make their lives look good where people can see it. Let me say it again. They make an effort to make their lives look good when and where people can see it. Social media. Going out with a group of friends for brunch. Meeting up with an old high school or college buddy that you haven't seen in 20 years. Who doesn't really, you have a connection with, but like isn't going to judge you harshly if you tell them the bad stuff about you. You know what I mean? Just like this person doesn't want to seem like they have any problems. It's almost creepy, if I'm honest. And I'm saying creepy because I'm being slightly subjective here. I'm saying creepy because, like, I don't trust people like that. I don't know about you, but I don't trust people like that. If you don't have issues that you don't talk about, that you don't admit to, that you don't, even if you're over your issues, you're like, oh, I used to have daddy issues. Now I've gone to therapy for 15 years and now I'm over. Okay, cool. You don't have, if this person's like, no, I don't have any issues. Like, no, things just don't bother me. Or, like, I just told you all that stuff that they do. Right here, with the lovers in reverse of this whole internal anxiety. You see it. That's the thing. You already know this. You know that this is the game they play. But, okay, and thank you. What trips you out, or what the issue here is that this is a game they play. That they're sort of playing by themselves. This person. Like, you're sitting there, you're like, everybody knows. Everybody knows that you're going through this. Or everybody knows that, my family's crazy. It's not a big deal if we don't go see them. Like, I tell people every time I meet them, my family's crazy, I don't want to spend time with them. But you want to make it like you're integrating into my family. Like, you're making an effort to be a good daughter-in-law or a good son-in-law or whatever. And it's just like, you don't have to do that. My family's crap. You might be telling this to your partner if this is a romantic relationship. My family is a group of POSs. We don't have to go and see them. It's really not a big deal, but you just married this person, or you've been married for 15 years. I don't know. And they continually try to put on a good face for your in-laws, put on a good face for your brothers and your sisters and your cousins and your aunts and uncles and all that. And you're just like, you don't have to do it. Why are you making yourself crazy and me along with you by trying to entertain these people or placate these people? It's like, I don't care about my family like that. Like, they're cool and everything, but I don't want to spend all this time with them. I'm fine if we don't go visit them for Christmas or whatever holiday, But this person, again, appearances mean a lot to them. So they need, something in them needs to take a selfie. I don't know why we say, let's take a selfie when it's more than one person. Semantics, but I just don't get it. Let's take a two-y, or let's take a groupie. Oh, I guess that sounds wrong, taking a groupie. Anyway. So this person feels compelled to take selfies with your family members and post it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that, and be like, happy holidays 2018, hashtag family forever, you know, something like that. And you're just like, I don't play these games. I don't even talk to these people like that. Why are you taking selfies and putting it up on Facebook? We don't hang out with them. What is wrong with you? And this person, appearances mean everything. They mean everything. And that gives them this feeling, which you're aware of, but they try their best to keep it under wraps. And that's funny. I said wraps, and those are absolutely, she's like on a bacon olive wrap. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the plot twist, or the great irony of this whole dynamic in this person, is that it makes them feel like this Eight of Swords. Makes them feel trapped, makes them feel stuck, makes them feel huge amounts of pressure, like I said earlier, and anxiety, and feeling like there's no escape. There's no way I could get away from feeling so tense and so pent up, or so consumed and anxious about having to make decisions and maintain a certain veneer, certain persona, certain image that other people can see. That's a lot. Like, if you are constantly like this, protecting a certain image or projecting a certain image and maintaining an image of perfection or damn near perfection, that is exhausting. That will tire you out. That will keep you mentally stuck. You will then begin to think, do people really value me? How could anyone value me if they don't know I have problems? Like, I mean, I understand that as a person, as somebody who regularly tries to work on themselves and talks to people about working on themselves. It makes sense to me that if you project something that's false, which a lot of people do, you then begin to distrust yourself. Who's the real me? The one that I'm projecting, or the one that's really here? And if I let people see the one that's really here, will they love me just the same? That's a huge conundrum for a lot of people in their lives. And like I said before, Leo, this could be you. I feel that it's mostly not. So I'm just going to talk about it like it's not you. But for some of you, this could be you. But the feeling for me is, again, you have an issue with having to understand or coming to a place of understanding and fathoming this person and what the hell they're doing. You can see this. You struggle to make decisions. You feel obligated to please everybody, or to make sure that the decisions you make are satisfactory, or that you enjoy them, and you have this buyer's remorse thing hanging over your head. And then you have this caricature of yourself that you show to other people. You have this side of yourself that you present as the only side, and you're like, no, that's not true. Everybody has a bad day, Sally. What are you talking about? And then you also see, Leo, from your perspective, or excuse me, from your standpoint, from where you are standing, you can also see that this person is trapped in a prison that they've made for themselves. A performance prison is what I'm seeing. A performance prison. It's like, thank you. It's weird, and this is going to sound like so crazy, but what I'm seeing is somebody on stage performing a play, singing at a concert, whatever, and they have their leg is chained to the stage. Like, there's a bolt on the stage, there's a shackle around their ankle, and when they finish their last great solo, and, you know, the music goes down, everybody stands up, there's a standing ovation, you would expect the person to bow and walk the hell off the stage. This person does not leave the stage. You're like, go home. The performance is over. I'm ready to go home. We should go home. Have a nap. Go rest your vocal cords. Have a cup of tea. Do something. But this person has created this image of themselves as being a certain type of way. And if they deviate from that, it's like it all falls to pieces for them. It all falls to pieces. And what I'm having an issue with, but what I'm seeing coming up is you care so much about this person, Leo. You really do. You might be in love with this person, some of you. You might be absolutely in love with this person. If you're not in love with them, you have some type of love and affection for this person. And I'm going to let you know. Energetically, I feel it. There's nothing you can do. They are who they are. They are doing what they're going to do. They have to learn or augment or face their stuff on their own. You can say it to them if you're in communication with this person. Some of you might not be, because that is a reversal card and we do have a lot of trapped energy. So you might not, for some of you, be in contact with this person. This could be a long lost cousin or an ex for some of you, or your partner, but you guys don't talk about their issues. You just talk about your issues, or issues involving the kids, or issues involving your aunts and your grandma and all these other people, but you never talk about their stuff. Whether you communicate to them or not, they have to face it on their own. This is trapped energy. This is reversed energy. This is like not being in the full potential of the good energy of the Lover's card. This is in the turned down, less enthusiastic, less beneficial energy of the Lover's card. And again, Four of Pentacles, holding it back, trying to keep it locked in, keep the display from shaking around and the plates from falling. It has to remain this way. It has to be perfect. And then trapped, because that is the design. If you want that display case, I'm getting really high. If you want that display case to never be nudged, to never be bumped, you gotta put like a little velvet rope around it. Like I'm imagining, like, you know, around the holidays, plenty of us have like little cousins and nieces and nephews and children running around. Maybe there's a little roughhousing, maybe people drink. And if you have like a prized possession on a shelf, a trophy, or like I said, like a decorative plate or something like that on a shelf, and you know that your family can get crazy. No, get away from my vase, get away from my vase, no, go away, don't go, hey, get these kids out of here. Play outside, you play outside. It's below zero, you play outside or you don't play at all. You know, that's like the feeling I get, is this person is so protective of whatever they've created for themselves, persona, a mask, a veneer that they've created for themselves, that any disturbance to it would ruin them. And so they're stuck having to protect it constantly. They can't enjoy the party, they can't have a drink, they can't relax because the kids are running around and they might knock the vase over. And you're just like sitting there like, it's just a vase. It's just a vase. Or, you know, it's a silly mask that you choose to wear. You don't have to wear it. Everybody in here is effed up, Mary. Everybody in here has issues. What are you talking about? Like, why do you think you're like, in a way, I feel from your perspective, Leo, this person, from your perspective, from where you're standing, it looks like they're ostracizing themselves. They're making themselves more obvious by trying to wear a mask. Does that make sense? Like, give up the game. Like, who are you trying to fool in here? Everybody in here has issues. Everybody in here has had arguments with their family. Everybody in here isn't always happy. Why are you trying to pretend that you're always happy? Like, ugh. So that's that. I could go on and on about this person, but that's that. Okay. 4 cards out here feels a little separate. Well, but it's also still connected. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I like that. I can't wait to talk about it. I'm just looking at the image there and I like that. But I think we're starting in the 3. Ooh, 2 3s. Wait a minute. Is this Leo? Or, because that could just be you. Are these 4 Leo? Yeah. Okay. Yep. There we go. Thank you. Sometimes they're really loud and then I reflect how loud they're. Yes. Okay. Anyway. And I think here. Boom. Like that. No. This way. Okay, thank you. Alright, Leo. Because I was noticing that before and they're like, no, remember what you were thinking before? Yes, okay. So, for you, Leo, perhaps the true start of your reading, if you want to think of it that way, we're finally going to talk about you. I think you are, in some ways, very much in this 3 of Swords energy, which is interesting. I just did Cancer's reading, and they had the 3 of Swords in this exact position, but it was in reverse. So there might be a connection there for some of you overlapping with Cancer, but it doesn't have to be. Anyway, so Three of Swords is typically, you know, heartache, heartbreak, betrayal, third party situation. Why am I talking like that? I don't know. So that might be true in some of your cases. This might involve a third party situation. And third party doesn't necessarily mean cheating. Third party just means there's an interfering third party energy. Sometimes in the embodiment of a single person, sometimes in the embodiment of responsibilities or duties, sometimes in the embodiment of addictions and behavioral changes or habits. Okay, so it's not always that there's another person interfering between a certain relationship. It could just be, you know, I want to work late, or I love money so much I work overtime all the time and I only see my girlfriend like 2 times a week. Something like that. But regardless, I think for you, like, this is part and parcel. Bittersweet. What do I mean by that? So, like, somewhere in your life, Leo, in the relationship that's important to you that we might be talking about right now, in other relationships that are in the peripheral of your life, or historic relationships, things from your past, your family relationships, former romantic relationships, exes, whoever, you understand, Leo, that sometimes your heart gets hurt. Not necessarily broken, but just hurt. And there's a difference. Like, broken heart to me has always been kind of like a hard cliche for me to subscribe to, because if the heart is a muscle, and I hate to take it so literally, but let's think about it that way. If a heart is a muscle, you don't break your muscles. You strain them, you pull them, they ache, they get sore, but they never break, like bones break. You know what I mean? Objects break. But if the heart is a muscle, which if I'm remembering high school biology and all that good stuff, it is. So it never breaks. And for you, Leo, I think you get that subtlety. A heart never breaks. It gets strained, it gets sore, you know, you pull it, you can do a lot to it, but it eventually, that ache heals. And I've never broken a bone in my body, but from what I understand from from some people who have, or people that I know who have, if you break certain bones, like, they sometimes don't heal correctly. You know what I mean? So I know a person who, like, they broke their wrist, I think. And now, like, how I can do this with my wrist, they can't do that. Like, they can go here. They can't, the flexibility is gone. Maybe that is tied to muscles as well, or the tendons involved. But my point is, for you, Leo, the idea that a heart could be broken and that it wouldn't have that dexterity to it like my wrist did, it wouldn't have that flexibility, that bounce back, is foreign to you. You don't get that. Like, even when your heart is hurting at the deepest level, you still have a capacity to love. You still have a capacity to feel and indulge in compassion and empathy and in some cases romantic desire. So it's kind of weird, but I think you'll get me. Let's say you, at whatever time in your life you've broken up with someone, or someone has broken up with you, whatever circumstance it was, there was a break, and somebody's heart was hurting, your heart was hurting. Even in the worst moment of that breakup, or what pick your worst breakup, where you just were down in the dumps, crying, you know, singing old love songs, you know, having to spend 15 minutes in your car before you go into work because you need to get your composure together because you heard a love song on your way in and it wrecked your morning, whatever. Pick that worst moment, and in that moment, be honest with yourself. Did you think that was it? You would never love again? Be honest. Be honest. Okay? There is a resilience in Leo's heart that says, this hurts a lot. This is a big strain. This is a big pull, and the muscle of my heart has never felt this terrible. But it's not broken. It's not broken. I will bounce back. It will bounce back. We will bounce back. This is what I do. Even when you're crying those mournful, sorrowful tears or angry tears, whatever type of tears you were crying over this person, you knew somewhere inside of you, you knew, I'll be okay. It will be okay. I will be okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is about that person or this is about your ex or anything. I'm not saying that it's specific. What I'm talking about is the condition of your heart, the conditioning of your capacity to love, is that it never breaks. It never loses its elasticity. It never loses its robustness, okay? It's here, tucked away in a corner, surrounded by all this cups energy. So you've got this aching feeling, this painful feeling here in the Three of Swords, surrounded by this very tender, just the energy of the cups. The cups are a tender, very compassionate, very sympathetic and empathetic energy. It's a healing energy. Cups are assigned to the water signs. So there is this tendency to bounce back, be navigating, snaking through troubled waters or troubled currents. You know what I mean? Like, the water energy and cups energy is like that for me. It can be very healing. It can be very positive and supportive. It could also be very destructive and very damning and very, like, dark and deep and kind of crazy. In your case, Leo, I'm feeling that these cups are all here to do the healing aspect around the Three of Swords. Collectively, as an energy. As individuals, we'll see what's going on because they're different denominations. But collectively, you have this soft energy that is both protective for your heart at whatever stage of healing it's in, right? It protects your heart. It gives you this rejuvenated notion, right? But it also doesn't block anything out, you know? Unless water is frozen, you can always penetrate with something through water, right? That's like the only time you can't really penetrate water. Well, and I guess if it's in a container. But you can always break the surface of water. I hope that makes sense. So as much as you're protecting yourself with that energy, someone or something can come through and make contact with your, again, not broken, but aching, sore, overworked muscle that is your heart, okay? And I gotta say that about this too. Yeah, this is, to me, one of the sweeter, nicer depictions of the Three of Swords, because in many cases, the Three of Swords is not a very pretty sight. If you're familiar with the traditional interpretation of this card in the Rider-Waite deck, it's a big red heart. It's got 3 actual swords, not like cake knives, stabbing through this heart, and there's like a cloud in the background. It's like overcast in the background. It just looks terrible. And there are worse depictions of that card. This is actually a very sweet depiction. It's a nice cake. I mean, it might be a little overkill to have 3, cake knives or cake serving knives in it, but there's this sweetness in it. I mean, unless you hate cake, I can't imagine most people do, but if you, I hope you see what I mean. It's like, even though it's overkill, even though it's like, oh my God, what did you do to that cake? There's no reason to shove 3 of those things in there. It's still, like, on the backside of it, feels like, oh, which is weird. It's kind of weird for me to say that, but I think I'm speaking to my audience here, so I think you understand what I mean. Even though you've been through tough times before and your heart has hurt before and you've been, dumped, or you've dumped people, or you've lost people for other reasons, beyond breaking up in romantic senses. It could be hurting because of family trauma and family drama and family, like I said earlier, you might have a strange or an estranged relationship with some of your family members, that's why you don't want to go and see them during the holidays. It's like, I love them, but I hate being around them, or every time we get together, it's some type of drama and it's too much. So it's like, you might have family members who have issues, that come to the surface whenever you see each other. You know what I mean? And you'd rather avoid that. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. There's like a bittersweetness. Thank you. Did I say that when I first picked up the card? Bittersweet? I hope I did. But that's what it is. It's a bittersweet feeling here. And on the outside of it, where are we going? Yeah. Okay. So on the outside of it, I feel what you're doing to protect your heart and or kind of get away from some of the more tender memories associated with the pain that you've experienced. You're doing stuff. You're going out, you're having a good time. 3 of Cups. So like I just said for Cancer, because this came out in their reading and it came as their outcome. 3 of Cups. Celebrations, shots. Got New Year's coming up, so some of you might have New Year's plans or you're looking forward to New Year's. Like, I mean, you've got that baby in the diaper and it looks like it could be alcoholic beverages swirling around. So, yeah. So, for some of you, this is literally, I'm making holiday plans. I'm making a point to go out and live my best life. You know, feel stress-free, feel like I'm around good people. I have a loving atmosphere. I'm having great conversations. I'm just loving all of this stuff, right? And for some of you, I'll be honest, it is a distraction. For some of you, it is a level of escapism. You know, maybe you're drinking and going out a little more often than you should. Or when you do go out for New Year's, maybe you're going to do it big. Maybe you're like, okay, guys, we're going to do a New Year's pub crawl, whatever. And you're just like really overindulgent. And I feel like that's not a long-standing energy. If you're doing that, be careful. You know, don't drink yourself into blackout stage and definitely don't drink and drive. But if you are going to go sort of overboard, OTT with it, I don't feel you will do it very long. I think Leo has enough, most Leos, not all, but most Leos have enough sense, or at least most Leos I'm reading for today, have enough sense to know what their limit is and when to call it a night, okay? Some of you out there, be careful, okay? But for the most part, this feels like I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to live it up. I'm going to a sense, I'm going to escape. I'm going to avoid this crap here. Or if we have to go see my family, then I'm just going to get blitzed. And that's the only way I can tolerate them. So you're doing this to sort of compensate for having to be aware of or made aware of the people or the person that has caused you this heartache, okay? And like I said, I feel it's temporary, so I don't think it needs much addressing beyond just be careful. For when you do indulge, when you do plan to live it up, don't go too crazy, okay? And the 3 of Cups is also talking about social events or sociability. And so that's a big part of your healing factor for you, Leo, is getting out and making new friends or reconnecting with friends maybe you've lost touch with, or making sure that you pay attention to and you cultivate and you pay due diligence or pay attention to your friends and your family who do support you, who do offer you great advice or are a great ear to or a great shoulder to cry on, things like that. Like you have an interest in making other people understand how you appreciate them or how much you appreciate them or how much you care about them. And just, it's about, you know, maybe, you know, you're not one of those Leos who's like overly affectionate or overly emotive with your affection. So instead of saying, I love you, bro, or I love you, girl, maybe you're not one of those Leos. Maybe you're just a Leo who, this is not necessarily here in the cards, but I'm feeling it energetically. You're somebody to give gifts, or you're someone to spend time as to show your appreciation for a person. So it's not verbal for some of you. Some of you it's action. Some of you it's acts of, what is that called? Acts of devotion, right? So when you go out, you know, you buy out the bar, or you have an open tab for like an hour for you and your friends. Like, hey guys, you know, 2018 has wrecked a lot of us, but we're going to have fun tonight, and all drinks are on me for, you know, from 11 to 12 or something like that. And your friends are like unexpected, but you're just like, I need to show people that I appreciate how they've supported me along the way. So that energy is in there too. Next to it, you've got the 8 of Cups. Burning that midnight oil. So some of you, if not most of you, have been working really hard, or you've been really focused on your work. 8 of Cups to me in this deck sort of takes on the energy of the Eight of Pentacles, which is more the traditional interpretation that I feel with this card. And Eight of Cups, normally, what am I thinking of? No, I'm thinking of the Five of Cups. Eight of Cups, normally. Show me the Eight of Cups in my mind. I can't picture it in my head. Oh, right. That's what it is. Okay. So in the traditional Rider-Waite deck and other decks as well, the Eight of Cups depicts somebody like walking away from Eight Cups because they want more. In this case, I feel that this person wants less. Like that woman, she's got her, she's exhausted, you know? And I guess in a way, that is a way of saying, well, I've had enough, is to put your hand on your head like, whew, that's enough. I gotta call it a day. But I don't get the feeling from this person, from the expression on this woman's face, that she's leaving anything. If anything, I think she's like taking a break. And maybe that's what's going on for some of you. Maybe this is a relationship that's on a break. Maybe. But what I'm getting is like, I'm going to keep working at this. Eight of Cups to me, like I said, I get more of the Eight of Pentacles vibe, the traditional Eight of Pentacles vibe, which is being hard at work, which is being studious and being very focused, being very calculated, or like I said, laser focused on a goal, on a specific goal. And if that goal is here for you, Leo, if you're so super focused on something, you would be focused on your emotional contentment and your happiness and your emotional stability. You want to have a good time. You want people to smile. You want to laugh, you want to dance, you want to do all that kind of stuff. And so you're like kind of working like a dog to ensure that. So some of you might be working like a dog literally at your job to make money so that you can take vacation time off, because you know you're going to get so out of your mind on New Year's or so out of your mind over the holidays that you can't make it into work on Monday. So I gotta make sure I get stuff done. I don't want any big projects lined up for me when I get back in because I'm still going to have a hangover, whatever. So you're like planning to take care of your emotional state. You put in a lot of work, a lot of cups of coffee for some of you. You've been, you know, making multiple trips to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or Saxby's or whatever coffee place you go to. You've been making multiple trips a day. They know your order by heart. Oh, you want the venti, blah, 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 blah. You know, and it feels good. You're exercising something out of yourself, or you're straightening something out emotionally by doing this, by being so focused on something, your work, something creative or something practical, or wherever your focus is, or whatever you're focusing on, because your focus isn't I want to be happy, and it's not, it's an indirect focus. I hope that makes sense. Like your mind is saying, or you're probably thinking, oh, I want to buy this, or I want to go here. And you're thinking in those logical terms. And on the back side, or on the unspoken side, is this benefit towards your emotional well-being, your emotional stability and happiness. Is like, oh, I want to go on a trip. I want to go on like a friend's trip. Like I want to take my friends out for New Year's, or I want us to go rent out this place and have a good time on New Year's. So let me work really hard and let me coordinate with my friends and get them to pool their money with mine, and we can all have a good time. Now you're thinking you're just doing that because you want to have a good time because it's, you know, New Year's or the holidays and you just want to celebrate. But actually, it's going to invigorate and heal that ache in your heart. That was, you know, that soreness in your heart that's been there. You know what I mean? And I need to go back and mention that. And I think I did, but I just want to restate it again. This ache, this heartache, can come from anywhere. Could be because of a breakup with a person. Could be because of relationship trauma with someone from 20 years ago. Could be relationship trauma or familial trauma from your parents. It could be with yourself. You might not have the best self-image or the most self-confidence, and you could struggle with finding love and contentment and joy within yourself. But whatever you're doing is meant to heal this energy on the backside. It's unspoken, but that's what's going on. Like, that's your goal, whether you know it or not. That's your goal. And your method of doing it this is kind of like the most detracting part of it, is your goal is, your approach to your goal is kind of this Page of Cups energy. And I'm saying it's a detractor because it is a page. And like I just said to Cancer for their reading, the pages are the least experienced, the most immature, the most novice and amateur energy of the court cards, because you've got pages, knights, queens, and kings, right? And so if you're going to do anything and you want to be successful, you're best to use the energy of kings and queens. Your next best bet is the knight. And your least best bet, although it's still great intention and it's still earnest and it's still honest, is a page. So you earnestly and honestly want to have a good time and see your heart mended and see your heart bouncing back to its full-fledging, robust and open self, or you know what I mean. But the Page of Cups, again, the intention is good, but the execution is less good. He or she, it doesn't matter. You, Leo, you're possessing this energy, so there's something a little lacking. You might be missing the mark. Like, your motivation might be good, but your methodology might be lacking. So again, I've said a lot about partying. I've said a lot about working hard to ensure that you can party. So that might be kind of the Band-Aid, when really what you need is stitches. Does that make sense? So there's this effort here from the Page of Cups. That's nice. It's better than letting the wound sit open and festering and not cleaning it and putting a Band-Aid on it at all. But the real treatment that you might need is stitches. You know what I mean? Like, the wound will heal if you use some Neosporin and some peroxide and all that kind of stuff. You could do that in your home. You could slap a Band-Aid on it. You could clean the Band-Aid and clean the wound every day. And eventually the wound will heal, but it might be better served, or it might be more efficient. It might be more better addressed if you had gone to urgent care or to the hospital or to your doctor and gotten a few stitches in it. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to say that your effort is the worst. It's not. Because you've got all these cups protecting this aching heart, right? But I would have preferred, and I, obviously don't stack the deck or anything like that, but I would have preferred to see like the queen or the king here. That would have been a much stronger effort, or a more feasible effort, okay? And another aspect that you can kind of catch I hope you could visually catch what I'm trying to say is, look at these flowers, right? Now, we can presume that the Page of Cups is trying to water these flowers because he wants to see them grow. But look how he's watering them, from a cup, from a glass. And there's only a few drops falling down on one of the flowers. You've got 8 flowers, but 2 drops of water. It's like, no, you're not going to sustain the flowers that way. You'll have to get out the hose or get out the watering can or whatever and really, really take care of those flowers, son or daughter, whoever. You're going to have to really put in a more concerted or well-rounded effort than just pouring water from a glass over these 3 plants. Another aspect, which I'm just catching now, which is interesting, do you see like the little red aspects on, or parts of the petals there? Not the petals, but the leaves? I guess they're called leaves or stems, whatever. The red stuff. To a certain extent, it looks like fire. And if you're trying to put out a fire, you're not going to do much with a glass of water. So that's what is coming across to me. It's like the effort is there. It just might not be enough, or it might not be the right type. So to water plants, to provide them with sustenance and nutrition or whatever, that's good. Plants need flowers. You got that part of it right, Leo. Plants need water. But the amount of water that the Page of Cups is pouring onto them is not enough. So you might be underperforming in some ways regarding how you are or when you are tending to your heart. Like I said, there's a lot of partying I feel up here. And so you might be doing too much. And I think I said that here with the 3 of Cups. You might be doing too much. A little OTT. out there on the town celebrating. So be careful. Might need to pull in the reins with the amount that you want to go out and celebrate, or you might need to sort of segment that energy. Like, don't spend it all in one night. There we go. Maybe that's it. You don't want to spend it all in one night. There you go. Maybe if you go out and you buy that bar out, or you open up your tab for your friends when you go out that night, the next morning, that's you. And the 2 drops of water, that's your wallet. Like, you might be overspending in your energy or your money or whatever else. And you want to make sure you have enough for yourself. And the things you're trying to water, and the things you're trying to provide sustenance for, or maintain, you know? Don't overspend. Don't overdo. Now, your outcome for December, 2 of Pentacles. So I think this ties back into this person and how you two relate, or what's going on between the two of you. I don't know what your relationship is to this person. They could be lover, mother, friend, cousin. I don't know. I think your energy overall, Leo, is fine. Could be better, but it damn sure could be worse as well. So I think it's fair to good. Satisfactory. You know, C+, B- type area, right? Stick with it if you want to. If you want to try and make improvements, you can. But I think how it's going right now, you'll be okay. Now, regarding all of this together, you plus them, 2 of Pentacles. So you see how you've got that kid running around with the dog, and then you've got this woman balancing these 2 plates. I wonder if I hope you can see it if I bring it in. Look at the expression on her face. Like, very carefree. And it's like, girl, you've got a kid. Is he like writing on the... No. Well, he's got something in his hands. Potentially a marker or some glue or something like that. And you've got this dog who's... What's the dog doing? I don't know. But these 2 things together, a small dog and a small child running around a house, that might be that might be what some of you are dealing with. You've got kids and animals running around the house, your house is in chaos, and someone, probably the other person, is kind of like, nothing's wrong, everything's cool, or oh, I need to, should I work on being a good hostess, a good housewife and keep my dress on, or should I, turn into like, it's just like this, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How can I approach the situation? How can I best approach and rectify this situation? So there's this idea of choosing again, this idea of sort of being stuck between 2 choices, or stuck between 2 options and not knowing which way to go. And that could be your energy. I'm going to be honest. This could be something that happens for you, Leo. But I think or rather, let me restate that. That could be something that is sitting within you, that you are struggling to make a decision about, well, should I do this or that? For some of you. But the majority of you, I feel this is the energy around your circumstances. Which way will it go? Which way will it end up? Which way? How? There's this uncertainty, or this continued feeling of an uncertainty, or continued feeling of juggling, this continued feeling of, well, just not now, can't make a decision right now, can't go one way versus the other. I think going back to the image on the card, that kid's running around, he's got no shirt on, the dog looks like he might be getting ready to bite her skirt or something like that. Like, to a certain degree, you got to pull up your sleeves or roll up your sleeves and deal with that. If something is being rambunctious, or something needs to be addressed, something is calling for someone's attention, and someone is debating how, when, if at all, they're going to roll up their sleeves and get dirty with it. I don't know about you, but I can't stand to see kids run amok, kids run around, and no freaking adult addresses the kid. Like, okay, sure, there are times when kids and children should play and they should laugh and they can be rambunctious and it's fine. They need to expel all that high energy that they have. But sometimes it's like, no, Like, that kid needs to be pulled in. Like, somebody get their kid. Go get your child. Your child's getting crazy out here. And I cannot stand when I see a parent or whoever the hell is in charge of the child not take action. Did you just see that kid spilled that drink or threw that food or did whatever? Like, we've all seen kids like do some shady stuff like, oh, I can't believe that kid just did that. And you wait for the parent to respond, or you wait for whoever to notice, and they don't notice. Does it drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. So this is what's going on here. Something needs to be addressed. Something needs to be given attention. And it doesn't have to be like, disciplinary. Like, you can't, naughty, you can't do that. No, it doesn't have to be that, but something needs to be addressed. If you address it kindly, now, Billy, what's wrong? Or if you address it aggressively, yo, Billy, get over here. What the fuck's wrong with you? Something like that. Oops, I said the F word. I'm sorry. Apologies. But, you know what I mean? Either way that you address it, the point is something has to be addressed. Something has to be given attention. And I feel that it is not going to be given attention. Some of you that might be you. For some of you, Leos. Others, it's the situation in general. It's pending. It's not going to be addressed anytime soon or within the month of December and thereabouts afterwards. So it's just like, gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. At some point. But just not soon. Overall energy. Oh, there's the King of Cups hiding back there. Overall energy for the month is the Tower card. Ugh. I say because like I'm hungry and this woman is made of like, what is that? It's not a fruitcake. What do you call that? I don't remember. Or jello, like a fruit gelatin or something. And that looks gross. So anyway, the Tower card in this deck is way more appealing than it is in the traditional tarot, I think. It's a little less daunting. But the energy, I feel, is the same. There is possibly a need, or this situation involves a Tower moment that has happened or will happen. If it has happened, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly when this happened and who was involved and what the hell was going on. And it was a mess. Like that woman's dress, that thing that she's perched on top of, that's a mess. Like, again, it's made of some type of food, but I don't know anybody who would want to eat this. So it's like not appetizing, whatever this Tower moment is. Not appetizing, not easy to deal with, not fun to deal with, not anything you could have expected or that you necessarily wanted to happen. But the Tower card talks about necessity, things needing to be disheveled or dismantled in some type of way. So I feel for many of you, this has already happened. You know exactly what this is. It could have been very shocking to you. Could have been very sudden to you. But the interesting thing is that's not an appetizing tier of fruit gelatin or whatever the hell it is. But the woman on top is looking so blissful. So whatever happened or will happen, whatever the Tower moment refers to, there was a silver lining to it. Some benefit on the backside, some unexpected positivity or solution or resolution has come from it, or will come if it, again, hasn't happened or you're in the midst of it or something like that. And I think it's a lot easier energetically to take in what that Tower card represents in this deck. I think it's easier to see an unappetizing piece of food or dish, but realizing, we can make do. Like, maybe I won't eat all of that. Maybe I'll, like, have a slither of it. You know what I mean? Versus, like, a lightning bolt hitting a tower. Like, how is that great? If you know what I'm talking about, like, the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it shows a tower being hit by a lightning bolt. The tower catches fire, and two people are thrown out of the tower. Like, that doesn't seem pleasant at all. Even though that's gross, even though I would never want anything of that, really? If push came to shove and I was starving out of, like I've never been starving before in my mind, I was like, or in my life, I think I could, like, what's in there? Like pineapples, maybe? If there's pineapples in there, I can pick out the pineapples and I'll eat the pineapples. Or strawberries or oranges or something like that. Like, you can find something in this garbage looking heap of fruit gelatin to eat. I don't think there's much appealing about a tower that catches fire due to a lightning strike. But, you know, different strokes, different folks, different people interpret things differently. Leo, that's your reading for December. Did you like it? If so, there's a like button below. Did it resonate with you? If so, there's a comment box down there that you could use. You can also subscribe to the channel and share the video if you feel compelled to do any of that stuff. And I will be back in a few weeks' time when I do your January 2019 general readings, okay? I thank you guys so much for watching up until this point. Take care. Bye.